after his unceremonious exit from JWC India, Bobby Pawar, the former managing partner and CTO of JWC, is back in the circuit. Pawar is heading to Publicis as Director and Chief Creative Officer, South Asia, and partnering him is Partha Sinha, currently the managing partner of Wwatch, who comes on board as Director and Chief Strategy Officer, Publicis South Asia. That's not all. Ambika Srivastava has also been roped in as Director Marketing and New Businesses India. Clearly, big winds of change at Publicis India. And for those of you who have not kept track of this agency, Publicis in India has not been making the right noises on the creative front for a while now. And this is Nakul Chopra, who is the CEO of Publicis South Asia's big gamble to shake things up and get the agency to fast-track itself, both in terms of its body of work as well as reputation. Well, who better than Nakul, Bobby and Partha themselves to tell us what is Publicis' big game plan and how they plan to be the game changer in the years to come. Well, thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Truly a pleasure to have you on Brand Equity. So, first question to you. First, many congratulations on this big coup. Bobby, Partha and Ambika. So, finally Publicis has a big, repertoire of names to back it by. And, the problem with Publicis, at least in terms of perception, is that it didn't have the kind of people profile to support, the agency, so to speak. So, give me your view on, what is the big game plan, because clearly you're hungry and there is an agenda here.
Firstly, you're absolutely right in saying that our brand did lack talent of this caliber, and we are thrilled that we now have this talent. The game plan is a game plan that we have sort of diligently followed for a while now. I think it is a cart and horse story. What do you get first? The base scale, or do you get the talent first? And you need one to feed the other. So I think in the last 10 years or so, since we became Publicis in this current avatar, we have built up scale of a certain kind. I do believe we are in the top 10 by size now. And I think you're again right in saying our ambition was never to reach the top 10. Our ambition is very clearly to be in the top 3, if not number 1. And without the right leadership, that's never going to be possible. So our game plan is simple. We're going to do great work that is a convergence of thinking and creative, and we're going to get to the top 3. As simple as that.
Did you look at Bobby as a big opportunity post the Ford Figo debacle, or was the conversation between Bobby, Partha and you ongoing even before the entire incident blew up in all our faces?
It is a fact that we approached him, I think, well over a year back, right? The circumstances were a bit different then, right? So I don't think our interest in him has anything to do with recent events, right? I think if at all recent events have had any role to play, it is in that it created circumstances that were more opportune.
When I had a conversation with both of you regarding joining Publicis earlier, both of you independently told me that one of the driving forces to actually take on this assignment is the fact that you all will be working together. If you can, give me a sense of, yes, you all worked together when you all were much younger, but now you all have come into your own senior people. What makes you think both of you can do the tango again?
Firstly, we are both of us still much younger. The thing is, you know what? I mean, this incredibly selfish decision, from my point, right? Most of them, whatever really interesting new kind of work that I've been part of, right? It's been in partnership with really good thinkers, because they give you a leg up. They let you think about your creative expression of that strategic idea in many different ways. They're great sounding boards, right? Now, some of the works happen with Partha here, right? In our much younger days. Right? We are only much younger now. That's all. Right? And, when you think of yourself not just as a creative person, but as a solution provider, I think the greatest solutions team, not just a creative team, and be a creative team as well. Right? Just not art and copy because the design sense sucks. It's better than I am, so I shouldn't be saying it. So it's just completely facetious. But then we can, because our brains are so wired so differently, and we attack problems from a different thing, we can look at things and come up with things very, very differently.
I think one of the key things in today's kind of communication is there should be a partnership between business and creative, where the creative is to produce the work and business is to go and sell it. Like that was the kind of partnership. Now, like the story has changed. You need to look at solutions much more fundamentally. So you need people whose worldviews are aligned. Like it's advertising views aligned are simpler people to find. I mean, what I find great in Bobby is that like we talk about other things outside advertising and where our worldview is aligned. In fact, same with Nakul. The best part where we feel that we will be very comfortable with each other is that our worldview aligned on a lot of other issues like macroeconomic issues, like politics. Like this, if your worldview is not aligned, then you will not drive in the same direction. A. B is, if you are looking at providing solution at a very fundamental level, it's really, really important to have this alignment. You don't get it every time.
This is the second innings in PUBLICIS, right? And so you have a pretty decent understanding of the group, of the agency, and your assignment at large. I just want you to critique what you think the agency lacks in India, and what you think the next immediate steps need to be taken to ensure that it's back on the advertising map.
I think one of the key things which we always felt, not only me, even Nakul felt during my previous stint, was we had a fragmented, like image of us. So some people in Delhi looked at us as, like Publicis. Some people looked at capital. At that time, actually, capital acquisition wasn't done. So then there was a very strong ambience brand once upon a time. So there were a lot of fragments. Some amount of great work happened, but people didn't know where it came from. So, like 1 + 1 never became 2. It became 1.25. So that 1.25 was quite bad actually. If one thing that has changed a little bit that I'm seeing is that there is a consolidated brand that is being built, and one of our jobs, 3 of our job would be to, like make sure that we build a consolidated brand, because like we tell our clients, even we are a victim of perception.
That is actually true. I mean, you are truly a victim of perception. So, I mean, the point is, what are you doing? What will be your attempts to consolidate all these 3 entities, the confused structure of all these different agencies? Is there a plan where Publici Capital, Publici Ambience all come together and become one large agency? Or are you going to leave it separately?
You will see the various things we will do over the next year or so to in fact consolidate things behind one brand, which is PUBLICIS.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that we may not have two agencies. There are a lot of brands who run more than one agency in a particular market. In fact, we ourselves, if I'm not mistaken, run more than 7 brands in France. But they are all known as PUBLICIS, right? So I think Partho is right. Our franchise is fragmented over the legacy of the Ambience brand and the Capital brand, and that's what we will seek to correct.
What are the different options you are considering?
Oh, it is a board meeting.
I would like to.
Will I get minutes of the meeting?
That I will guarantee you. I mean, give me a sense. Are you going to keep that separate because conflicting businesses can be accommodated?
I wish it were as simple as conflicting business, because then the solution would also be as simple. One thing I will say, that this market is not yet completely matured by size, but it's matured by discipline. And what I mean by that is, you might have 20 soap brands and not have a single one of them that spends at the level that they do in other parts of the world. Now, you can't handle more than one brand, right? So, virtually all the big boys you look at, they run multiple brands in one shape or another. We will run multiple brands, right? But we will run them in a manner that we build one brand.
So basically all three of you, that's Ambika, Partha and Bobby, will be in charge of all these three entities at large?
Yes.
Yes, Bobby, from a great large jungle of JWC, you're moving into Publicisi. I mean, it'd be fair to say that it's significantly smaller.
I think to a certain degree, much is made of size, and size is important, don't get me wrong, I think, but not literally, it's not the size, the physical size of a place, because that's temporary, right? As a lot of agencies, especially in the States and all that, like, you see large, they don't exist anymore. So size is temporary. A smaller organization is far more nimble. And then so maybe we can do things, because it's just between three of us.
Before these guys come in and kick in and, start what they have to do, if I ask you today, how is Publicisi India figure in the global scheme of things, in the whole global play? How does it stand today?
If I'm honest with myself, I will say that we haven't lived up to the expectations we've had of ourselves and that our global management would have had from this market, right? And I think that's what's about to change.
Okay, fair enough. So, given that you've answered this so candidly, my next question is, now that you've acquired talent, right, what kind of play will Publicisi India have on the global scale? There must be a diktat, there must be a personal diktat from you to, your newly acquired team on, where India needs to figure in the pecking order, whether it be in terms of creativity or it be in terms of revenue.
It's easier to focus on what you need to do in this market first rather than worry about where you need to be in the global pecking order, right? I think if I'm saying that from being one in the top 10, at the bottom half of the top 10, we want to be in the top 3. It's very clear. We're looking to, I don't know, treble our size in the next 3 to 5 years. If we get there, we will automatically be playing the role that we are expected to play in the global. Whether it is from a perspective of creativity, whether it is from a perspective of what the Publicis brand should stand for, or it is from the perspective of our size.
Okay, so you are saying that you're looking to triple your size and you're looking to be, in the top 3 in India, right, as creative forces to reckon with. In 3 to 5 years? Would that be a good estimate to 3 to 5 years?
Yes.
If I can just put this to you, 3 to 5 years, top 3, that's quite a tall ask from where you stand today. What's the plan of action apart from, of course, combining thinking with great creativity?
It's good to have a plan on the side.
Yeah. See, you can't look at a 3-year picture and a 5-year picture. You've got to look at chewable bites. You've got to look at that how many stuff you are going to do in the next 6 months, how many stuff you're going to do in the next 1 year. And when I say how many stuff, I actually mean 2 things. One is new business, another is significant work on current business. So these are the 2 things you have to focus on initially. And of course, another thing that goes without saying, which sits on the top of this, is getting the right kind of people, because the place has to be a happy place.
So you are saying there might be a possibility of an entire region?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that getting people rallying around.
I'm not shy to say this is going to be a new avatar of Publicis in India. I'm not shy to say that at all. Yes, in the process, I'll say what Partho says in even sharper way. There will be a clearly defined vision around which we will try to rally our people. Those who will rally will be part of the happy people, and those who choose not to won't. That's fine.
Why has it taken you so long to get a slightly heavyweight creative?
Well, I don't know if I have a good answer to why has it taken me so long to get a heavyweight creative. I don't think it's taken me so long to desire to have one. Right? But sometimes in these situations, your strategy becomes dependent upon what you can do and what you can't do. Sometimes no one's available, and then you have to do which we did do for a while, and I think quite successfully at that. We said, okay, we'll take people who have not yet acquired that stature but want to, and try and help them do it.
Well, on that note, I'd like to wish you all the very best, and hopefully, Nakul, your big dream along with your high-profile recruits will actually become a reality in 3 to 5 years. Hopefully, Publicis will be in the top 3 in the Indian advertising circuit. And all the very best to you, Bobby and Partha. Hopefully, this team and this friendship, this strategy come creative duo will actually take Publicis to places. Many thanks for joining us.